Now we should be going live.
Are we good?
Should be.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. All right, everyone. Welcome to Got a Spotlight with Liaserenityrose, episode 8. And I have my very amazing co-host Chris here, as we will be doing a Q&A with the team behind Sonic Paradox.
Indeed.
And of course, we have
Some of them anyway.
several members here, so please introduce yourself and what you contribute to Sonic Paradox.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm TheWax. I'm the leader of Sonic Paradox. I've done a lot of animations for the series, and yeah. Who wants to be next? How about Mac?
Sure. My name's DrMackFoxx. I'm a voice actor for Dr. Eggman, and I've been doing this since 2007 for Sonic Paradox, and from several projects from a fellow animator, Roger Vanderweed, as well as a couple of music albums and a gaming channel called Paradox Power Plays. Next.
I guess I can go next. Hi, I am Josh Hodgeson. Some of y'all know me. I am a voice actor for Sonic Paradox. I have most recently. I cannot speak. I am the voice for Commander Buzz in Sonic Animated, and I've been a member since 2020.
I'm Skippy008. I'm a more recent member. I've done a few animations for Paradox, some which have released, some which have not, and I also do a bit of voice acting from time to time if necessary.
I am PiggyBank, or Nick, and I did a bunch of, I did a few shorts for Sonic Shorts Volume 8. I did the animation for Team Sonic and Seaside Denied, and probably some other stuff I'm forgetting about. It was years ago, but I'm here now.
Good evening or morning, I'm KaDoYou, also known as Kim. I animated a couple of shorts for Volume 8 and Team Chaotix for Seaside Denied, and I think one of the other teams for Metropolis Mayhem. Yeah, you'll see that in Eggman in the credits. Good evening, everyone.
Nice. All right, let's start with this Q&A.
Indeed.
All right, here's my first question for you all. Tell us, how did you guys started the group Sonic Paradox, and how did you come up with the name of the group? I've been very curious.
Well, we back in the day, before we even had a name, I wasn't even around at the time. We were just animators that wanted to do a project together. Just a little collab. So we a bunch of animators, people like Bitmaster and Tyrannic and other members, got together and made Sonic Tribute Collab, which you can find on our Sonic Paradox channel. And we went to do a sequel, which I was a part of, but the sequel got canceled due to some complications. But after that failed, I became the leader of the group, and that's when I said, "How about we do little shorts instead, since it'll be easier for us?" And that's when we created Sonic Shorts. Around Volume 2, Tyrannic, he helped make the names for Sonic Paradox. He was just a big fan of like Doctor Who and all, so that's where the Paradox came from.
Really?
And yeah, and he created he helped create the forum and which I think of back in the day before Sonic Paradox, we were like called Sonic Turbine or something like that. And by Volume 2, we became Sonic Paradox, and yeah, that's where it came from.
Wow, So you guys were basically under a different name until Volume 2, and then it changed into Sonic Paradox.
Pretty much, yeah. We didn't really go by Sonic Turbine or anything. It just happened to be the form we were on at the time.
Mm. That's pretty interesting. Chris, do you have a question for them?
I do see one of the text questions in the chat. Yeah, one from Kevin. What's your favorite Sonic short?
I'll start. My personal favorite is Saddam Robotnik bombing 4 kids.
Oh,
Sniffly!
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Skippy.
Oh no, I was just joining. I was just following Mac's lead there. You go ahead.
I don't have one particular favorite, but a couple of them would be the Chaos Swiss roll, and also the oh gosh, what was it? It just slipped my mind. The how to make your own fan character,
Yes.
like at the end of Volume 6. That's a
ooh.
classic.
That short, because I do write fan fiction, so I've kept that short in mind when writing my stuff.
Well played.
I think probably one of my favorite ones is the pointless information moment with Omochow, because I love pointless information. I'm an expert in pointless information.
Mm.
Let's see. I think my of my personal shorts, it would be that I made. It would be Sonic X Dinner, and of other people's shorts, I think PiggyBank's "I'll Make You Eat Those Words."
Oh.
Well, that's my other favorite one, I think.
Oh, that's 2 of my shorts brought up so far. Jeez, I didn't realize.
I don't know, man. I just really like the ones you worked on.
Aw,
I agree. I completely agree.
No disrespect to any of the other animators, of course. They're all fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it my turn now?
Go for it.
Gotcha. It's hard for me to say because I've watched every single Sonic shorts at least like 100 times, probably. But I mean, like probably one of my favorite ones has to be there was I was literally listening to this earlier. This is on it was volume I think it was volume. It was one of the early. It was one of the early. It was the earlier volumes. It was volume. I believe it was volume 1. They had a. Oh god, it's hard. It's hard for me to say, but I think for the sake of brevity, because I don't want to take too much time, because it's gonna take me forever to list all the ones that I love. But I know Sonic Seconds Volume 1. I know holds a lot of like sentimental value because that was like the first one I ever remembered watching. I think there was one short I remember of yours, Wax, that I know that I really loved. It was where you had Big the cat trying to find Froggy, and he was just like, it like goes to him like just tossing cars up in the air, just like, and just Froggy, and then just goes underneath Amy's dress, Froggy, you in there? So that's always gotten me. You honestly have so many that so I would probably say just pretty much any that this man has worked on. It's been, and the one we were meant in the and I know volume 8 I also really enjoyed a lot as well.
Does anyone else have? I just want to be sure. Did everyone speak?
I mean, one of my favorite ones isn't even out yet, so I can't really talk about it.
Data classified.
Exactly.
You're talking about. I'm looking forward to that one.
That's totally understandable. Okay, here's my next question for you all. What got you into the Sonic franchise?
I can start with that one. I'm an OG Sonic fan. I recently turned 40 last month. I remember, to this day, seeing commercials for the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game on television back in 1991. And then I just so happened to have a friend who had a Sega Genesis, so I got to try it out, and the rest is history. Been following the series ever since.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool. My story's kind of similar. Like, my older brother had a Sega Genesis, so when he was at school, I would sneak in his room and play Sonic 1. Like, that was one of the only games it had because it came with it. And
Nice.
I would enjoy seeing Sonic, like, the cartoon on TV, and then Newgrounds came along, and I discovered that, and it was like, oh wow, other people grew up with this game. And I just remember laughing really hard at, like, Volume 3, I think, when it came out, so I had to join Sonic Paradox and get into the animation and stuff. It was great.
Mm.
Wow, that's nice.
My story is slightly different from that. When I was at primary school, I had a friend of mine that was very, very obsessed with Sonic, and particularly Shadow the Hedgehog, because Sonic Adventure 2 had come out fairly recently. And he introduced me to that, and over the next few years I slowly became more familiar with it. Like, Sonic X was being broadcast on television right before school, so I became familiar with the franchise through that. There were a couple of books in my library that I read about, and my very first Sonic game that I ever played was the PC port of Sonic R. And that still got me into the franchise, but I will admit I was probably more a fan of Sonic the character than I was Sonic the game. I'm very much a fan of Sonic the game now, but it was the characters that drew me into the series first.
Fascinating.
I think my first introduction of Sonic was there was like a little party going on with the family, and there was these kids that were teenagers that were playing Sonic 2. They were on the first boss, and I was like, ooh, pretty colors. I was young, and then a little bit later I got into the cartoon series, and got the whole. I used to have the old McDonald's Happy Meals toys and all that.
Oh.
Or was it Burger King? Yeah, it was Burger King. And it was then I got my own Sega Genesis and got really into Sonic 3 and all that. So yeah, good times.
That's cool.
I think my first Sonic game was, I think it was actually Sonic 3D Blast on the PC, and I hated it. I didn't like it at all. So then it wasn't. So it wasn't until Sonic made it to the GameCube, and I got to play Adventure 2 Battle and Sonic Advance, mostly Sonic Advance 1. That was the one that made me fall in love with it.
Mm.
Fascinating.
And I'm the last one, I think. Making sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think for me, make a long story short, I around 97, I don't necessarily have any memory of this. I was like 3. Out of whenever I first played, I was like 3. But like I know in about 97, my parents actually had a Model 2 Genesis and had one compilation cartridge. It was Sonic Classics 3 and 1, and had 1, 2, and Mean Bean Machine. And I played a lot of that. I put countless hours in that as a child, and I know around 98, like the year after, they started doing reruns of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog on Toon Disney, and that was kind of like my main Sonic consumption for like a good several years, because I was a big I was a big Nintendo kid as well, so I started getting into that more around that same time. And then Christmas of 2002 happened, and I got my GameCube. And my Uncle Terry, God rest his soul, was actually our Santa that year. And actually, one of the first games he got me for it was Sonic Mega Collection, which kind of exposed which I had played a couple of the I'd played 1 and 2 of Mean Bean Machine before that. This is my first exposure to all the other games in the classic lineup, as well as some of the bonus features on that. Like, it helped expose me to the lore. Like, they had like stuff from the comics. They had the history of Sonic, retrospective, all like previews of like Sonic Advance and like SA2, and it was like I was just captivated by it, and I, for the most part, haven't skipped a day since then. Over 20 years later.
Mm. that's
What
really
about you, host? How did you get into Sonic?
Oh, you want to know my story?
Why not?
Sure, go for it.
Well, I didn't really know about Sonic like back in the 90s. Like I had no idea about Sonic. I was more into Super Mario, and then I was introduced to it because of Sonic X. Like I was drawn into that show, and it really helped me get with with understanding the characters. Where, oh, okay, so and then that's kind of my entryway into getting into Sonic, and I've been playing Sonic games ever since, and because of the exposure of Sonic X.
Sonic X, despite the many problems it has, it certainly seems to be a good way for getting into the franchise, at least back in the early 2000s.
Hmm.
I'm so glad I hit the Japanese fan subs of that one first. 4Kids kind of butchered it a bit.
I mean, I got nostalgia. I mean, I got nostalgia for it, and for what it's worth, the voice actors acted the unholy crap out of the material they were given, because that was definitely a direction issue.
Yeah, I mean, we did get Mike Pollock out of it, so yeah.
That is very true. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. We still have him. We still got him 20 years later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite true.
Ooh. Chris, is there any more questions in the chat? Chris? Uh-oh.
I can read one here
Chris?
from the prankster Doug
There we
asked.
go. There we
Chaos
go.
Swiss roll. Wait, that was you guys? Yes, that was us, the prankster dubs.
I did have a question before the text question.
Oh,
My question was from the during the animation for the recent upload you guys did. What scene or animation was the hardest to do for that video?
Ooh.
Which one is he talking about? Is he talking about Sonic 1 or Seconds 13?
Sonic, the first one.
Sonic Animated.
Yes.
Well, that's TheWax's department because he made all of that.
I guess the most complicated scenes for me were always those 3D scenes because of how buggy the tool was. That the 3D isn't the best in Adobe Animate, so
Yeah, that tool's a little undercooked.
yeah, it's kind of like doing what's it called? Super Nintendo Mode 7 graphics.
Yeah,
But
it's very much like that.
it's very much like that, except it's really hard to figure out how to use properly.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, how
Yeah.
cute. It wants to be 3D animation when it grows up in about a century.
But I agree. I agree with you, Wax. Like I've used Adobe Animate, so yeah, the 3D tool in that program is not perfect at all.
Yeah.
So
It didn't help that it doesn't help that there was no tutorials out there. I literally had to make a tutorial for everyone else.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow, I wouldn't be able to cope with that.
I know your pain, even though it's not with Adobe Premiere, but with Blender trying to animate something, it is not easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there another audience question? I'm trying to.
There is. There's a lot of them. One from Rainboom. They ask, hang on. They asked the Sonic Paradox team, what are your most favorite Sonic game soundtracks?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I can answer
That
that
is
right
a
now.
lot to choose from.
My personal favorite, hands down, is Sonic Adventure 1.
Ooh.
Good.
I've got
good
to
one.
agree. Go ahead,
Yes,
Wax.
good.
When it comes to modern, I would have to agree with Adventure One. When it comes to the classic Sonics, or I mean like 2D games, I would go with Mania.
Nice
Ooh.
choice. That's a good one.
I'm a big fan of Frontiers, to be honest. Quite a lot of variety in that one, and it just appeals to me. Can't really say much more than that.
I would say it's difficult, but I know because I mean I like most of them to varying degrees. But I know I mean as far as classic, then then it's a tie between 3 and Mania. As far as like modern, which I'm presuming in the context we're going like SA1 and later, I would say SA2 just because the soundtrack has Live and Learn, which is my favorite Sonic song of all time, but it's very, 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 very close second is the entirety of the Frontier soundtrack, because there's just so much variety in it, and I would probably go as far as to say that Undefeatable is just barely beat out by Live and Learn, is probably my favorite Sonic song of all time. Like, just there's say whatever you want about Frontiers, that soundtrack is literally undefeatable, and I don't care what nobody says.
Personally, I find that game to be the home run that Sega's needed for a very long time.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think it's probably my favorite game to actually play. I mean, it definitely has problems, but I can overlook them because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's if you enjoy it. Yeah, it's like, and I know, I got my own legit gripes with the game, but I overall love it. And I mean, it's by my own admission, I just suck at the game, but I still enjoy it nonetheless.
Oh my goodness, the third update completely broke me for a bit.
Oh.
I haven't even had a chance to finish the update because I felt like this idea worked out better in my head where I was going to I essentially intentionally overrode my save file so I could play it the way it was intended, but then I had a whole bunch of like personal crap get in the way, and as a result I haven't had a chance to actually get to the couple yet. Also I'd been me, Leah, and Chris had been busy with Revo Online around that same time, so that didn't help. But
it's not very often where the final challenge before the final boss is actually considerably harder than the boss itself.
Like, listen, people asked for a higher difficulty. We got it. I mean,
I wasn't asking for it. I mean, I respect people wanting it, but I was fine with it.
Yeah.
On a personal note, the first time I saw somebody fail that quick time event against the moon and having supersonic face plant into it, I lost it. That was fantastic.
Wait, I have not heard of this. I need to look that up.
Wait, did everybody answer the question? I think, Piggy, did you answer the question?
I'm sorry, what was the question? It was the soundtrack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your favorite.
I'm gonna second Mania. I really liked Mania's soundtrack. That was a personal favorite of mine.
Ooh. Yeah, Mania definitely has like it really captures the classic feel, you know.
Yeah, I had listened to a lot of T. Lopes' stuff college, and I was working on when I was doing a lot of the Sonic Short stuff, and it was really cool to see him and so many others on that staff come a long way with that.
I just want to throw out a special mention. I just remembered. I also want to throw out a special mention to both versions of Sonic CD.
Oh,
I especially love those two soundtracks.
Absolutely.
You're going to be hard-pressed to find a Sonic game with a bad soundtrack. Probably the only thing that comes close might be Rise of Lyric.
Sonic Chronicles?
Oh, right! I forgot about that. That one's the king of the rubbish mountain right there.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Rise of Lyric doesn't even count. That doesn't even count.
And there's also Sonic Jam on the Gamecom.
Oh, let's see. Here is my next question. What is your favorite Sonic music theme song? I know, Josh, you said yours is Live and Learn, but what is everyone else's favorite Sonic music theme song?
Oh,
I
good
can answer
heaven.
that right now. That would be Dr. Eggman's theme from Sonic Adventure 2.
I can't imagine why.
I was about to say, I was about to say, gee, I can only imagine why you said that.
Get a load of this!
Nice.
I can see why you've been doing his voice for so long.
Yep, for sure.
My
Character
favorite
themes off the
song,
top of the head would probably be Sonic's from Sonic Adventure 2. But I think, like, in terms of game soundtrack, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 had consistently, because I didn't play all the Sonic games like 3D or 2D, but I don't know, I think Sonic Adventure 2 had the best themes in my opinion for the characters, but also like the most consistent track after track I would listen over and over to.
Mm.
I think my favorite favorite character vocal theme. I think my favorite might be I Am All of Me. I love the songs in the Shadow the Hedgehog game. They're
That's a
so
good one.
good.
That's
They
a
make you
good
feel
one.
so powerful.
Oh, no.
Like you could just chaos blast everywhere.
Oh, chaos blast it all.
Is that you, Skippy?
Oh, I don't actually know, to be honest. There's a lot of them, really, and a lot of them are jolly good. Some of them are a bit ridiculous, but most of them are just.
They're wonderfully ridiculous.
Yes, I was just thinking the Team Sonic one from Sonic Heroes has got this line where we can defeat Eggman. The secret is sharing your dreams.
Listen,
I'm just thinking.
listen, that's pretty metal, you know.
I'm just thinking. I'm just imagining Eggman's robots exploding when Tails explains that last night he dreamed he was a pony.
The power of friendship. Anyway.
You don't want
The
to know
secret
what
is sharing
I
your
dream
dreams.
about. It's not suitable for this live stream.
Oh no!
All right, Piggy. How about you?
Oh, I already said the.
He already did answer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just,
You can
He was
answer again.
talking
No,
about
I'm kidding.
Shadow.
how about you, Wax?
I guess mine would be the Phantom King song, which is the it's the final the supersonic final battle on Mania.
Ooh.
Oh, right.
That's a good one.
That is a good
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about vocal themes.
Oh well, if it's vocal themes, I don't really have a favorite of those.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my favorite Sonic song probably isn't one of the vocal ones. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's not one of the vocal ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like picking your favorite child.
Only you didn't give birth to any of them.
Sage, you're my favorite child. Cubot or Bot, stay in the corner where you belong and think about what you've done.
Well, Chris, do you have a question? Another question for them?
Alright, let's see. Right now I can't think of one off the top of my head, but one from the Frankster. They asked, to all of you, from 1 to 10, how much fun do you guys have while working on Sonic Paradox?
Ooh.
That is.
Oh, that one's easy. I have like a 9. It'd be a 10, but I run into so many technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm about the same way.
I'm just happy to be allowed to be here.
I find it. I can't give a solid number because it's subjective. Only because I have actually gotten to be hands-on with a number of projects. The bad, for example, being having to spend 8 hours a day 10 days in a row trying to quickly compile Metropolis Mayhem to be ready for Summer Sonic 2013. That sucked. Got it done, but it wasn't any fun. But then, to hear people and see people react to it on its live premiere, perfection.
Yes, I have to admit, there is something special about seeing your work being played in front of a live audience, and I'd never experienced that before. But when the preview for Sonic Shorts 9 went out in London, and seeing the recording of that was amazing, really, to see the audience reaction to that.
I just remember in particular when you're in the end credits for Metropolis Mayhem, and Amo Chow has been thrown into the room randomly. You can't exactly recognize the shape as he picks it up. Perhaps I could use this for robot parts. And I could hear the crowd murmuring at the convention going like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh, that is... Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the audience reaction for that is on YouTube somewhere, and I have seen it. It is something special to behold, seeing audiences partake in it.
Yeah, I believe I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen the audience's reaction for sure. But that's just amazing that, the group's like project is just, there. That's really cool. That you guys were able to showcase that at Summer of Sonic. I remember watching those videos when I was younger. So that's just really cool.
All right.
It is really cool to have gotten the opportunity to do that.
Ooh, here's my next question.
I didn't answer the last one.
Oh, sorry, Jojo.
Yeah, I was about to say, what am I freaking chopped liver to you? God.
Good, Josh. Good.
Anyway, I would say honestly, just to be honest, I'd probably say a 10, just because of just how much I watched these people growing up, and like I honestly, it's wild because because I didn't actually have like a significant role in anything until like a few weeks ago, officially anyway. So like, it's honestly an absolute dream come true to be able to say that I've worked with these people in anything, let alone Sonic Animated. So, I'm honestly honored to even be a part of the team.
That's great to hear. You did amazing as Commander Buzz. I was like, oh snap, this sounds lit. when I watched it, I watched Sonic Animated, and it was like I enjoyed it like from beginning to end.
Thank you. I honestly give total credit to Wax over here because he was the one that animated that whole thing and gave me that opportunity, and of course you and everyone else in that animation did friggin' fantastic as well.
TheWax, how long did it exactly take you to finish that episode? Because I know you've been working on that thing for a long time.
Yeah, how long did it take you?
Around 6 years.
Wow.
But take note. But remember, I was working on a lot of other projects. I mean, I did the entire season of SBTV News, and I also worked on a few Sonic Seconds and some shorts for Sonic Shorts Volume 9 that have yet to be, that's not out yet. So, yeah. I was constantly working on other things at the same time.
2,000 years later.
Yeah.
6 years?
But the deal phase was 10 years ago.
Oh.
Speaking of things that took a long time,
that phase.
Yeah. The entire concept of the entire premise of Sonic Animated was created from the trip we went when Sonic Paradox did went and got did a get together at Yumacon. We met the writer for Sonic Colors,
Oh yeah, I got to interview him oddly enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was Ken Pontak, I think.
Yeah. He told us there was he did not he was not given any sort of Sonic Bible at the time. He had to learn everything from the internet. and it was like, huh. So yeah, there's no. I was thinking, why not make a video of something you could watch, and you pretty much get the premise of Sonic 1, and that's where that originally came from. Of course, I made it my own thing now, so it's not 100% canon, but yeah, that's where the premise was from.
And
Wow.
the project must have been fluid because, I mean, you've included stuff from the Sonic films in there now as well, haven't you?
Yeah. It I wanted to bring in the owls and all that. Good stuff.
Hey, Robotnik, don't you think I look cute?
Oh my god. I remember
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Here is my next question. Can you tell us about the process of Seaside Denied, and how did you come up with the lyrics for it? I'm genuinely curious.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
Oh,
I got nothing to do with this
that.
question.
Next question, actually.
No, I'm not even in this. I'm not even in that project, so I,
I think
can't
that's
even say
a Tom
anything.
question, Recti or Recorder Dude. He's the
Yeah,
one who wrote the song. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I don't know if we could answer that.
I can.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Go on ahead.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
vaguely remember how it all started with essentially Wrecked and Wax kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. I remember in particular, we wanted to have something ready for Summer of Sonic 2012. There was still a heck of a lot to do on the next episode of Sonic Shorts. And so somehow it came about being that creating an animated musical, albeit a fairly short one, was looking to be probably more viable.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so I remember Wax and Wrecked working hand in hand on the script, got that in order, and then just went off from there. Found a voice cast, animators, got recording in order, and we never expected that Seaside Denied would take off like a rocket, to be honest. It was a surprise smash hit.
Oh, for sure. Like, I remember, like, you guys were telling us that literally when at Summer of Sonic, when Jin Sonoe was playing it, literally the crowd was singing the lyrics from
Mm-hmm.
the video. So that's pretty wild. I think that just shows that it really made an impact.
It was kind of a rushed project, too. I think the total time of development was maybe 5 or 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
ended
did
up rushing a lot of animation, so Mac had to put much of the footage together like within the last week. Like right up to the premiere, we were working up to the bell.
Oh, it was even more fun because at that time, somehow I ended up having the most powerful computer in all of Sonic Paradox, and there wasn't a good way to turn Flash animation into video. So I spent many hours trying to screen capture at least 720p. Managed to eliminate most of the lag, but yeah, it wasn't perfect. But hey, it worked.
Oh, wow.
That's the downside of being Dr. Eggman. You got the best computer.
Oh yeah, and the one last bit I'll add to that. I remember we had like a simple end credits staff roll for it at Summer of Sonic. However, I think it was you, Wax. Didn't you do the final animation with Eggman just kind of sitting there, his thoughts echoing in his head with everybody waiting for the other teams to fight him?
No, I don't think I did that.
He did the scrolling text on the side.
Okay.
Yeah,
bringing that
All I
part
know
up.
is it wasn't me.
I think
I'm
it was.
bringing that.
Was it you, Kim, that did that?
I think it was
How do
Kim.
you-
Was that you?
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't remember. It's been a long time, but
Well, brought it up.
I do remember in particular we wanted to put something together quickly for a proper staff role, so it boiled down to, okay, I'm just going to ad-lib something. So that's what I did, coming up with a quick joke on the fly for each team.
That was gold.
Yeah, I agree. It was like when I heard that, I'm like, Oh my gosh, I love this.
Shadow's true power worries me a lot.
Me too.
But that's so interesting because I was always curious about it because that was musical genius right there to be able to create a musical from like an existing like music. So that was really like I enjoyed it. I remember watching that when I was younger. So
As do I.
The team, quite frankly, did an absolutely amazing job, and couldn't be happier to see that it's became something of its own, you know?
Right.
yeah, for sure. Oh, Chris, do you have another question for them?
Let's see. Actually, I took the question I was gonna ask, but let's see about the chat. Let's see. Okay. Here's one from Morgan. They ask, "What made you decide to go into voice acting?"
Hmm. I can answer that right now, oddly enough.
Go for it.
And that is, since I was a kid, I was very interested in animation and cartoons way back in the mid to late 80s. And so something me and my brothers would do is just kind of like ad-lib silly stories with various toys and action figures we had, giving them various voices and things like that. And it was just something I worked on, and then eventually decided I should give this a go. And so ended up doing all the voice work for an old two-dimensional animation course that I took in college back in 2004, and ended up getting an A in the course.
Congratulations.
But here's the icing on the cake. I then showed that final project to my computer networking class, and afterwards, the instructor, the late Al Mosier, rest in peace, took me aside and said that I should strongly consider film school because not many people can do what I just did, and that has stuck with me ever since.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That means
Um,
something, especially if you're hearing it from a legend like that.
Yeah, and then of course I find out I can do a decent Dr. Eggman impersonation, and been using that ever since.
There you
I
go.
will-
Eggman is a surprisingly difficult character to do an impression of.
I
Mike
was-
Pollock is very unique in his delivery.
Yeah, my takes. I know my take on him. I know my take on him is definitely like Max. Mine's probably a little more Dean Bristow influence. Although there's a little bit of Jim Cummings in there as
I
well.
love
But
Jim Cummings.
I will say this: when I first heard your Eggman in one of the shorts, I thought that was, I thought that was actual Mike Pollock at first.
Oh,
High
kid
praise
not.
indeed. So, Josh, how did you just what made you get into voice acting? You're the other main voice actor here, after all.
yes, I guess so. I know kind of a similar thing. What Mac was mentioning, at least the first part, which that like definitely as a kid. I mean, replace mid to late 80s with late 90s, early 2000s, and it's basically and it's essentially partially because like I watched a lot of animation and video games growing up, that and doing a lot of weird voices, and I was able to read before I was able to speak pretty much, so I would always find myself doing that sort of thing whenever I'd be. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy out of nowhere. I would do all sorts of weird voices when I was like reading, like I don't know, like Peanuts comic strips or something like that, and or like just through watching some of my favorite shows and whatever, and like I guess and of course I had like obviously that there was plenty of like the legends and stuff that I took influence from. Like Mel Blanc is easily my biggest influence of voice acting anything. And I think around, and I had a bit of a stage in film acting background when I was younger, and around the time I was in college, I knew for a fact that I wanted to do something in voiceover for the majority of my life. But I know it wasn't until college that I started getting more interested in actually doing it seriously. Actually, I was very briefly a radio personality at my college's radio station, Southeastern Louisiana University, 90.9 FM KSLU. I was an on-air personality for them for a few months before I was let go. Reasons I won't get into, and I also it was that was actually also how I found out that I was able to do audio engineering, which is something I also do. But anyways, around that I started trying to dabble into more and more because I was like, apparently I have a voice for it. Let me see what I can do with this. And then it was just kind of like something I was doing on the side for a while, and then COVID hit, and I started, and naturally the downfall of the narrowly surviving the downfall of human civilization has you thinking, hey, I should try to pursue that thing I've been trying to do. So I had a little more free time, so I started doing so. I mean, I know which I know I was doing like comic dubs and all that stuff before that, but I know it was definitely around the time COVID hit that I started like trying to take it like seriously. And I know which ironically enough, that was also around the time I was brought on here on Paradox, because I believe Sonic Seconds Volume 11 was the first thing I appeared in that was ever released. That was in like April of 2020, and I recorded my lines for the bit part I had back in 2019, which I mean that'll probably be something mentioned later if we have time. I just started getting out there and hustling pretty much, and I think then. Of course, I know there was another animation I did around that same year with one of the animators that we have, CJ Destroya, for his movie Sonic Dragon Ball crossover animation, Sonic movie Godflex mode, where I voiced Lord Beerus, and which was pretty solidly well received. And there was like a couple of things I did as well here and there, and then I think. Early 2022, I was brought on to Revo, because I was brought on to Revo as a voice actor originally. Because for those that don't know, I voiced Knuckles, Boom Knuckles, and Zavok for them, as well as a million other hats I freaking wear for Revo. But and then the Sonic and Knuckles show thing happened around the same time, because I voiced Knuckles for that as well, and those two were like the two things that definitely kind of helped open a lot of doors for me, and the rest is history pretty much. And of course Sonic Animated was pretty much just kind of like an additional thing to that, which I'm grateful for. But obviously I was I'd been, in the context of getting paid, I think I've been doing it professionally about a year or so now, maybe. And I'm hope, knock on wood, that'll be longer. We'll just see what happens. But that's rambling aside. Hopefully that properly answered the question. I know I talk too damn much. I apologize.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. But you're all good, Josh. It's always good to learn about how people get into voice acting. Everyone has their start, and they all have interesting stories on how they get started, for sure.
I'd just like to interject that anybody that is interested in having a go at voice acting, because I do a little bit. I'm not on the same level as Mac and Josh here. I just do it from time to time when I've got the nerve for it. But try checking out a place like a casting call club, because there are lots of small projects there that you can audition for and dabble your toes into it, and that can help you find some connections.
I'll be honest, Skippy. Your regular speaking voice, with the proper emotional inflections and some direction, your normal speaking voice would actually be great for cartoon characters.
Honestly, yeah, and legit, which you're too kind, by the way. Legit, you weren't so you're a little bit in it. You weren't so bad yourself in animated, like you had the like you had that gibberish rabbit down to a T, bro. Like, I had
Like I said in the green room, that I've been practicing that voice ever since high school, and I was just grateful that I had somewhere that I could actually use it.
yeah, and you honestly, yeah, you have like such a unique voice that I actually could see you like doing well and that sort of thing if you wanted to.
I mean, I have done a few projects, not many related to Paradox though, so I didn't really know if it was worth mentioning. But
Yeah, I'm just
one
saying,
thing
your
I do,
voice
one
kind
thing
of-
I do well is a Dalek voice.
Your voice, as you speak now, I'm kind of like imagining kind of like a prim and proper English anthro rabbit, you know, just having a pleasant conversation with.
Which is so weird. I'm Australian.
Yeah,
I know.
I was gonna say that's you know, ironic. I mean, I guess they technically still own. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop.
My father is
Anyway.
British though, so I do have that connection. But even my fellow countrymen keep thinking I'm English, so
Aha.
I go on holiday somewhere and they keep asking me, "Are you from England?" No.
That is a, which is ironic. That is a very American question. Ironically, anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Here's my next question. Are there any other Sonic content creator groups you would love to collaborate with for any future projects?
Ooh, that's a loaded question, isn't it? I mean, there are so many talented groups out there.
Well, we're always looking for doing collabs and all. I mean, you just got to figure out a way to do them.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, scheduling and all that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, some different YouTubers. I mean, other members have reached out to them and they've actually appeared in them. Like, he wasn't a Sonic creator, but 8-Bit Sergeant managed to get a Phantom Strider to do some voice acting for some of his shorts, including one that's coming up for Volume 9.
Yeah,
It's,
I know. Yeah, I know. For Sonic Animated Wax, you were able to get like Sasso. You were able to get like Sasso, Belena, Sam Procrastinates. All that was pretty dope.
Yeah. That was like a little Easter egg. I wanted them to say, I wanted members of the Sonic community to pop up and say something as the bandmates.
Oh, trust me. It was an honor being able to technically say I was playing their boss. Because like especially like Belena, I've been following since like Sonic and Jaws when I was in like when I was like 15 years old. So I was like, damn, bro. like what is even happening right now?
Mm.
Big shout out to them, by the way.
Mm.
I mean, a lot of the Sonic community somewhat interacts with Paradox as it is. So there are quite a few that I would think of as, oh, I'd like to work with them, and then, oh wait, they already work with Sonic Paradox. So
Yeah. I mean, over on SBTV News, I tried those episodes. I tried to promote other channels, and also have a few people voice of the characters. Like Team 182, I had them show up as Blaze.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shout out KN.
Oh, yeah. That, that's very cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool that you literally had Sasso and Sam Procrastinates and Belena in there. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
There was-
yeah, they're definitely, they're very well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I mean, there was quite a bit of people in that list. There was also quite a few OGs in that cast list as well. Like I know I'm absolutely honored to be able to have done a scene with Game Buddy, as a Sonic Paradox veteran. that's literally been a fan of his Sonic since I was like 14 years old. You know.
Oh wow.
I asked one of the founders, I asked Rec D to do some voice work for for one of my shorts, and he very kindly did it. And then I learned later just how big his channel actually was, and I was like, wow. You took
Yeah.
your time. You took time out of your day to do some voice lines for me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I know we were mentioning Recorder Dude earlier. He was an animated as well. Big shout out to him.
Yes. Do
Did
you
some
have
great
a-
work with my stuff as well. It had me in stitches.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
Well,
do you have
sorry.
any?
Yes, I do.
I'll just quickly throw out there that Wrecked was also the lead writer for Seaside Denied and Metropolis Mayhem. So yeah, that genius has continued to grow over the years.
Yeah. Also, what were you trying to say there, KaDoYou? I'm sorry.
Oh, pressing the wrong button. I wanted to
Oh,
give a
God.
massive shout out to our Shadow VA for the Metropolis Mayhem, River K. He did
Oh,
an
yeah.
amazing shadow in that, and I feel flattered that I mean honored that he would put time, because he does professional stuff too, but he would put time to do lines for the parts that I was helping animate. Like, they turned out so well.
For
That
those of
one
you who
was
don't
funny.
know River K, just for starters, he's the voice of General Gaius in the smash hit Dust and Elysian Tale.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Hey.
I mean, I've never played it, but that is a game I recognize.
Yeah. I was about to say me neither, but that's still a solid thing to have on your resume.
hmm
Yep. Alright. I know we've asked about the Sonic shorts, Sonic Shorts volumes. My question is, how much fun did you guys have working on the Sonic Seconds?
Ooh.
Sonic Seconds was the first thing I've ever worked on. Yeah, I was
Same.
just thrilled to be able to be accepted into working on it.
Oh, same here.
I think my first one was a bit rough, but I was very pleased with how big fishing out Chaos's brain came out. I was very pleased with that one.
I always had a fun time working on the Sonic Seconds. I didn't do many of them though. I got so preoccupied with Sonic Animated that I couldn't. I just didn't have that many. So yeah.
Understandable. Understandable.
I mean, you got so much on your plate already, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm like I'm like you. I'm surprised you're still alive. How much you be working? Like, like legit. You. But I mean, since I'm already talking, I guess I could throw it in here. I mean, it was the first thing I was offered to do a voice in for Paradox, which so I would definitely say I was pretty honored for that. Sonic Seconds Volume 11 specifically. For those unaware, yes, I had a bit part in there. The short, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but basically the short is Sonic and Tails are going. The second rather, Sonic and Tails are going into like the little casino nights area, and I play a little bouncer at the door, and
Yeah.
I remember I did my lines for this in one take. I was just like, "Sorry, kids, you got to be 21 or older to enter." And then Eggman comes in with his ID, and I'm just like, "Enjoy your visit, sir." And then Sonic and Tails just looking at me with that little meme hand, like, "Boy," and then Eggman just walks off with the emerald, and that's the end of the short.
Oh, look what I found in the bank vault. No one will miss this.
Exactly. And
I say, Charlie, have you seen where the emerald's gone? It was here a moment ago.
And speaking of CJ, they're in the chat.
What up, CJ? You the goat, man.
CJ is a very talented animator, I must say.
Oh, for sure. Let's see. Are there any questions from the chat?
Let's see. Let's see.
if you don't mind me saying so, I see from way further back we didn't touch on, but it would be pretty easy to answer.
Go for it.
Let's see here. Dolius asked, which Sonic Paradox album do you enjoy the most? To which I can say, there aren't very many, so pretty easy probably to make a choice. But I would say probably the one to check out the most would be the Project 20 album.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's the wonderful thing about Paradox is that it has so many projects that I actually have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I do. I just haven't thought of it in a while.
Well, just to put it in a nutshell, Project 20 was made during the 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was a big Sonic game remix album featuring people from all over the remix community. There was a gaming collab that was live streamed, but also a fantastic art mural featuring drawings by I don't know how many dozens of different artists. Good stuff.
I think my favorite track on that would be by Rexy. I guess she goes by Freak Rexy. I think it was called Temporal something. But we were actually going to use it for one of the volume intros, but that didn't go through. But that still stuck as one of my favorite tracks from that whole album.
Yeah, the only other albums are collab albums that I did with a MIDI composer named John Weeks, alias SBO Chaos. Those turned out all right.
That's fun. It's fun. It's funny because Project 20 was gonna be my answer, and I hadn't. It's funny you mentioned because I literally haven't thought about that album in so long.
My personal favorite track on there is Flight of the Eggman.
Once again, I can't imagine why.
Freaking Skippy. I love this guy. Anyway.
How about you, Wax?
I guess the Project 20. I don't. There wasn't that many albums, so there was the Christmas album. There was the one that Mac mentioned earlier, and yeah.
There was a Christmas album. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Hedgehog Holiday Hits.
Oh gosh, if you want to talk about the Sonic Extreme of animated projects, it would be that.
Oh goodness.
Like the fun factor on that was 5 out of 10. Sorry, folks.
How about you, Piggy?
Well, like I said. Oh, sorry, wrong person. I thought you were
can't
talking.
really- yeah, it's been
not me.
years since I've listened to any of those soundtracks, so I can't really say. The only
Oh,
one I recall is Hedgehog Holiday Hits, and that's it.
Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. Are there any Sonic characters you relate to in terms of their personality?
Tails.
That was not the answer I was expecting from you.
Really smart, but also rather shy.
Hmm.
And just seeks to be helpful in general. That kind of fits with me. Plus, I've just been a fan of the character since he made his premiere all the way back in '92. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would have been negative too.
I still find it crazy to this day I was born 1 year before Sonic.
Yeah. Mine's probably not going to be too much of a surprise to those familiar with other stuff that I do, but probably Knuckles. Like in the sense that I feel like I'm kind of like, you know, I like to hope that I'm less gullible than he is. I was about to say more. That would have been bad. I would hope that I'm less gullible than Game Canon Knuckles. But I know I consider myself kind of, you know, fairly introverted in a way. You know, you know, I've had my own stubborn moments, like especially whenever I'm trying to like finish tasks, you know, like a too stubborn to quit, that sort of thing. You know, I'm always there to help with friends and stuff, but I'm also and like I like being by myself sometimes, you know, although I'm probably more of an introverted extrovert, but you know, I feel like that might just be something I relate to more as an adult. I feel like when I was younger, I probably related more to Tails. So it's kind of like a tie between those two, just for like differing parts of my life. But
Hey, Josh.
what's up?
I like it, Sonic, you don't chuckle. You'd rather flex your muscles.
I'm hard as nails. It ain't hard to tell or break them down whether they're solid or frail. Unlike the rest, my independence is my first breath, first test. Feel the right, then the worst left. There you go.
Round of applause.
That just made me remember that one scene in one of the shorts where Knuckles was listening to his theme song and he gets questioned it.
Yeah, that's coincidentally that is another short, like another shorts compilation that I love that y'all did, was Knuckles briefs. Like, I've probably seen that one like 1,000 times. actually, yeah, like, you know, of course I wasn't at Summer of Sonic, but I know I saw, like, I believe the Sonic show had like a little thing there, like a thing where they were covering that year, and I remember they had showed the Summer of Sonic version of it on like the episode that they put out on iTunes that week. It was awesome.
I do like that collab. It's my kind of stupid. I love that kind of stupidity.
Yeah, and I know, and it was, and it just every single short on there was just, yeah, it was just mwah.
It's quite unique compared to all the other ones because everybody's animating in character rather than as their username.
Yeah, absolutely. Silver, you're grounded.
Oh man,
That was oddly enough on my mind.
How about you, KaDoYou?
Oh, probably I can relate to Silver, actually. When I was younger, it was Tails, like Josh mentioned, but I mean, in terms of any specific character, I relate more to Silver and Blaze. Like, because I feel like goal-oriented, but also easily distracted, but also there's that stubbornness to not quit a project that's been going on for as long as I've been on the team. So it's all kind of there. I don't relate to one specific character.
KaDoYou, I'm sorry, but all I can think about is Silver stuck in that loop forever.
Yes. That is my life right now.
Oh no.
Oh no. How about you, Piggy?
To pick a character that I relate to, I'd probably pick Big, because I too would love to just sit around by a lake and look for a frog. That would be living the dream. That's all I'd have to worry about.
We're not even friends. I'm a frog. You're a cat. You're supposed to be devouring me.
Yeah, yep. I was literally looking at that short earlier.
In other news, I found a bowl of Honey Smack cereal. It's got a picture of a frog on it.
That's funny because I voiced that character.
Yes, you do, and you kill it.
So
Oh no, I don't want to be a murderer.
how about you, Skippy?
Oh. I don't know. I think I'm fluctuating between several of them. But I guess I relate to Silver in the fact that he's just someone that's trying his best and not necessarily always succeeding, and he's not particularly self-confident in what he's doing. So I'm almost always second-guessing myself. But in other times I also relate to Cubot because he's a bit of a twit. But he's also very oblivious to things, and sometimes I'm incredibly oblivious to things as well, so... But yeah, probably Silver would probably be my one if I think about it, probably the one I most relate to.
Bit of a twit myself. I felt that. Uh,
Oh, how about you, Wax?
I think I'd go with what's his name? Chuck from Sonic X.
Ah,
Oh.
I'm I'm a laid back old man who just wants to do silly scientist stuff.
you're only like 5-6 years older than me. You're not that old.
No, that's what I want to be.
I got you.
you're gonna be waiting a while. At this point, I am the village elder of Sonic Paradox.
I was about to say you got me beat by like 11 years.
Who gets to be the village idiot?
The village idiot is whatever idiot we have to throw off the server for being a Nimrod.
That's
that
a good
kind of
answer.
idiot.
That's a good answer.
I don't like that kind of idiot. I just like the kind of idiot that's a bit of a goof.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stupid, so that counts for.
That explains Knuckles, then. I'm sorry.
Good heavens,
All right.
there was an old witch in the room.
All right, man. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Chris, do you have another question for them?
Let's see. I can't think of one on the top of my head. Let's see if we got any from the chat. Let's see. I think there was one that we didn't get to, like the other one. Oh yeah, here's one from Aurora Kid. They asked, which side character deserves more love and why?
Ooh.
Like inside a short or just in general?
I think both.
Because that is a difficult. There are so many Sonic characters out there, and a lot of them have been forgotten over the years. Or
I've got an easy answer to this. Some side characters that need more love. Well, how about we just bring in anything under Ken Pender's umbrella just to drive him insane?
I'd be down to do that just to be petty. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Sat AM cast, but I wouldn't object to them seeing some more time in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Listen, hail to the king, baby. You know what I mean?
Scourge.
Yes, absolutely. I would have probably said Fang if Superstars didn't come out. So I'm glad to see him getting love again.
Oh yes, we definitely need to see more of Heavy and Bomb.
Yeah. That's also a good one.
Ray as well.
Mighty and Ray, yes. Or since I'm mentioning Fang, Team Hooligan in general. I definitely want to see more.
Yeah, the entire Sonic Fighters cast.
Yeah, bring back Honey.
Yeah, we need Honey back. I'd love to see
And
Breezy
Bean.
come back too.
Hello,
Bean,
Knuckles. You're
Bean
happy
is
and bomb.
one of those great
Love
characters
Knuckles.
for. Oh, sorry.
What were you saying, Mac? I'm sorry.
Hello, Knuckles. We are Heavy and Bomb. We love you, Knuckles. Why doesn't Knuckles love us?
Oh yeah, I remember that short. I thought you were like doing a big one, like, oh wait, you're quoting a short. Cool.
I do think Bean is one of the untapped comedy potential characters of the Sonic
Yes.
franchise.
100%.
Crazy with those bombs. He's crazy.
I mean, every time he showed up in the comic books, it was always a highlight.
Absolutely.
And yeah, like I know KaDoYou actually mentioned Honey. Yeah, Honey is definitely needs to make a comeback for sure.
It would be nice. It would be nice for her to have an established character in a game rather than just in the extended universe. Because
Yeah, I was kind of sort of hoping she'd show up in Superstars or something, but no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Give it time, especially if we're going back to the classic era. You know, the next one might include some of the other ones that we haven't seen in such a long time.
Yeah, I mean we got Fang back, so anything's possible.
the sky is the limit.
Not you, Chris Thorndike. Stay in your cage.
Yes.
Oh man.
Um,
Wrong franchise.
how about you, Wax? Is there any specific side characters?
Oh,
that-
totally Wendy Witchcart. My goodness. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I mean, there's so many good characters I would like to see, but I mean, there's no specifics.
I just want people to be happy to see their characters again,
Yeah.
instead of having to argue over whether they're canon or not.
It's a Sonic fan base. They ain't gonna be happy anyway.
That is true. That is true. I see the thumbnails all the time. Sega does this. Fans aren't happy. Well,
Izuka could find a cure for cancer, and the fans will be like, "You didn't find a cure for AIDS. Doesn't count." So- feel bad. I feel so bad for him. Anyway.
this just in: people breathe oxygen. Sonic fans are not happy.
Yeah. I realized I realized that was like what saying water is wet. I just wanted to throw that quip out there.
And it's amazing how many people will argue with you about that.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. I'll be chilling.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Here is my next question for you guys. What is your favorite Sonic game and why?
I can answer that.
go ahead.
I have to break it down to 2 games though, but it's an easy answer. One, my personal favorite 2D Sonic game is Sonic CD. Love the heck out of that one. Love the art direction, fantastic soundtrack, gameplay, and even though I'm terrible at them, I love the special zones there. As for 3D, my pinnacle remains Sonic Adventure 2, although Sonic Frontiers came close, but same things. I played Sonic Adventure 2 pretty much when it was brand new. Awesome soundtrack, enjoyed the story. Just so much I loved about that game.
I think for me, I remember this questioning fumbling me at the meet and greet that I had with you, Leah. Although that part of that might have just been the way Rainbow worded it. But I feel like in terms of the class, I mean, if I had to, in terms of the classic era, easily Sonic 3. I would probably say that's probably my favorite Sonic game in general. As far as like modern stuff, which as far as modern, I think Mania is definitely close. I would probably say Mania is a close second as far as classic games are concerned. As far as modern games, which going by what we've essentially been doing, which is SA1 and after, probably and it's a bit difficult to answer, but I would say it's kind of a I would probably kind of say kind of a similar thing with Mac, where it's probably SA2, although Frontiers is like really damn close. It's like pretty much a tie, more or less. So I think that's what. But like, it would take forever for me to list all the games I enjoy. So.
How about you?
Whom now?
You.
Oh, not trolling here. My favorite ones, well, are actually Sonic Shuffle and Big's levels from Sonic Adventure. Allow me to explain. When I play a game, I don't like it to be too difficult because I play them to unwind, and the classics are actually pretty hard for me to keep up with. So, I like the drone, wait for that fish to bite, tap the buttons at the right time, pull it in. It's satisfying and it's really simple. Now, Sonic Shuffle, that game cheats, but for some reason I got a knack for cheaty Mario Party type games, so I find it easy. And the music, it's stupid. The whole game is stupid, but it's a funny kind of stupid, which I like. So
yeah.
I chill with those. They're the easiest for me to play and pick up.
That's honest.
I can understand that. I mean, I played Sonic R and I unironically enjoyed it, so I can't really complain either way. But in terms of favorite, I'll probably have to go with Sonic Rush and its sequel. To be honest, I very much. It's obviously a nostalgic. It's a nostalgic pick for me because that's one of the first ones I owned. But I just very much enjoyed those two, and kind of wish they got a bit more recognition today. They're getting a bit forgotten about in the being stuck on the DS these days.
Oh, that's
But yeah.
totally understandable. How about you, Wax?
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Also looks like we lost someone.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think we lost PiggyBank. I don't know what happened there.
Oh dear.
Where did he go?
He ain't die on us, did he? This ain't turning into that kind of stream.
Ooh, but yeah, like I would have to say, yeah, Sonic Rush and Rush Adventure, they're very underrated. So like I can definitely see what you mean, Skippy, with the Sonic Rush series. I've played both of them, so I enjoyed playing both of those too.
There's some games
They
that
did
could
give
use
us
some.
plays.
There's a couple of games that could use some remakes on other platforms. Don't jam it on Apple Arcade, Sega. Bad idea.
I have an iPhone. I'm talking to you right now through my Mac. I am the last person to give an unbiased opinion about that. So, I got Apple One. That's why I'm the last person to give an unbiased opinion about the Apple exclusivity thing.
I know. I'm also silly, but still, make it available on more things, guys.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I've already got Apple everything, so I'm gonna get it. But,
Chris, do you have another question for them?
Let's see. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. Oh wait.
I have one.
Yeah, good.
So we've already heard from people like TheWax and that, but I wanted to know how you ended up how other members ended up joining Paradox in the first place. Like I know Wax was there at the beginning, and I mean PiggyBank's just disappeared, so I'd have liked to have known how he joined as well. But
yeah, PiggyBank, if you're watching this, where you at? Anyway.
I can answer this pretty easily.
Go right ahead.
And when I got involved in Sonic Paradox right after the first volume of Sonic Shorts dropped, and since I'd already been tinkering around with a Dr. Eggman impersonation, I decided, you know what, why not? I'll jump in on this. And eventually I got handpicked to voice one short in Sonic Shorts Volume 3, and, well, eventually got to be involved in Seaside Denied and many other things. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Excuse my whatever murmuring I was doing there. I could since I just did that, I could go next. But I know. I think it was late 2019 or so. I'd been a fan, like I mentioned before. I'd been a fan of Sonic Paradox since 2008, whenever the first Sonic Shorts had came out. I was actually like even before like YouTube even. I remember I was watching it on like when it came out on Newgrounds back in the day, because I was like where they were originally posted at, and I saw the first short, and I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. I should check out some of their other stuff, and I did. And like, you know, I can't tell you how many hours I put into like Sonic Paradox's content growing up. It was probably one of the first like Sonic content creator groups I ever really watched that I recall. I mean, it was, yeah, it wasn't the first, but it was definitely one of them. And I believe, and in like 2019, I believe I sent in a couple like really like crappy, friggin' awful like samples I had of my voice. I don't even remember particularly what they were, and they haven't really been buried anywhere. But one of them actually in late 2019 actually got it was like December 1920 specifically. One of the animators for that bit part I was referring to in Sonic Seconds Volume 11 sent me a DM after hearing the sample I gave. I believe, if I recall correctly, I don't particularly remember how it happened, but I know that. But then I essentially set my stuff in one take pretty much, and they liked, and apparently everybody liked it, and they wound up adding it and then putting me on, and then I wound up being a part of Paradox after that. I know I had I think there was in between that and Sonic Animated Wax, I think there was one stream I think I popped up in the background for once. I don't particularly remember which one or if it's even up still. But I know. But then I know in late it was like mid late 2020 I believe, Wax, when I sent you my audition for Commander Buzz. I'm trying to remember.
It's hard to remember, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you were looking for somebody for that voice still, and I kind of, it was me and somebody else. I threw my hat in the ring, and I even went out of the way to make a robotic filter myself in Adobe Audition that I sent as a take, and it was and. Apparently, Wax liked what he heard because I wound up being casted, and that was that. So
Yeah.
I haven't really done that much with Paradox, surprisingly enough. Which I'm trying definitely. Which I'm certainly trying to. I certainly would like to remedy because remedy at some point. Made a nice little step in the right direction with Sonic Anime because that was a lot of fun to work on, and I can't wait to whenever we we're able to do more of those. Obviously, as time allows, obviously, because obviously Wax over here stays really busy with the animation for it. And but yeah, that's rambling aside. That's essentially what it is, and it was just me. It was essentially just me being a fan and then being a part of the team in a major role. And I was, it was super sick. And of course, big ups to Wax over here for giving me that opportunity.
How about you, KaDoYou?
I forgot what the question was. Forgive me.
It's how did you end up joining Paradox in the first place?
Oh, let's see. Like Josh, I started watching them on Newgrounds. I found the volumes, then I realized they were still doing, they were still looking for animators, and I had always wanted to make cartoons. So joining the forums back then, it was Sonic Paradox on Vision Free or something. It was this old forum board. But they'd have little tutorials on how to animate, how to use certain programs. And it was really welcoming. It was pretty nice. So I learned from there and continued to get better from there and had technical difficulties from there, also learning that in the process, how to work on that. And just having the chance to get to know voice actors and work on the cartoons and stuff, it was a nice experience.
How about you, Piggy?
Okay, yeah. So, the question was how I got into Sonic Paradox?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. How I got into Sonic Paradox? I think man, it's been a while now. I guess it was 2010, 2011. I think I just kind of wandered onto the forums and I had started just trying to make a Sonic short and making little things for I think it was Yeah, I think there was like some menu stuff I had made art for back then, and then I had made a Sonic short somewhere in 2011. In the summer of 2011, I made that, and yeah, I think that was how. Yeah, I think I just sort of found my way in by just going onto the forums and talking to people and grabbing an idea from the sheet of approved Sonic short ideas and then just running with it.
Yes, for those that don't know, there is a list of ideas that have been approved on a spreadsheet. So
Yeah,
when
there
new
used to
animators
be,
come along, that's what you can pick from.
Yeah, which ironically I'm one of which I know I'm one of the
How about you? Was it just looking at the forums, Skippy, or?
Well, a bit of a long story, I suppose, but a few years ago, I wanted to have a stab at joining some reanimated collabs, and I started doing that. I hadn't animated in years, at that point. I got rejected from one, and then I was a bit upset at that, so I started taking it a bit more seriously. Then I joined SatAM Reduced and did some work there, and I started joining some other ones, and then it occurred to me, hey, I should have a go at trying to audition for doing some Sonic seconds, because I've always enjoyed watching them, and I knew they were still looking for members, so I went over there, gave it a go. Got turned down the first time, but got given some feedback, went away and worked on it, and then the second time I was approved. So yeah. So anybody out there that is interested in joining, and if you do get turned down the first time, don't take it to heart. Just we'll give you feedback, and if you show that you're working on it and that you're actually taking the feedback seriously, there's a good chance we'll accept you, because we are always looking for new members.
Absolutely, and actually, I was about to say it's fun. It's funny. Yeah, you were in Reduce. I forgot about that.
That was my first real project that I worked on. So I'm very grateful for that team for accepting me, and because I was very rusty back then. And yeah, I have noticed that I have gotten better over time, and yeah, I'm just very grateful for Reduced for giving me my start, really.
There you go.
How about you, Bax?
Well, let's see how I joined. Back in the day, I just finished making the animation Full Metal Sonic, as well as a few itty bitty Sonic shorts that aren't part of the Sonic Shorts volumes. And that's when the project leader for the Sonic Tribute collab came to me and said, "Hey, would you like to be an animator for Sonic Tribute Collab 2?" And I said, "Okay, I'll join in." And and I said earlier, that Sonic Tribute Collab 2 never got canceled, but in its wake came Sonic Shorts. Yeah.
That's cool. Ooh, Chris, I think
Yes,
think
I
it's
know what one you're talking about. Let me read
Ooh.
off that question from a certain Dr. Kelp. Let's see, they asked, what was the process for coming up with some of the ideas for the Sonic Heroes Seaside Denied and Metropolis Mayhem videos? I'm especially curious about how you came up with the lyrics.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think that's more of a wrecked question, and he's not here.
Yeah.
He's the lyrical genius behind the writing of those ones.
Yeah, I did send him a few bullet points for possible ideals, but that was it on my end. He did most of the writing.
If you want to know why Shadow the Hedgehog keeps becoming magical girls, that's partially my fault.
I still love the part of how he turned into a powerpuff girl.
Oh my gosh, that one.
It started with me showing White Sonic a random image I found of Tails dressed up as the character Sailor Mercury. The rest is history. I have no regrets.
I will always be grateful for the Chaos Swiss roll.
Yeah, the Chaos Swiss roll is a classic. I don't want a damn Swiss roll.
I always love it when people mess around with words.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's. I think that was. I think doing that randomness of Shadow being getting into magical girls was the most hilarious thing. I felt like it was like the highlight in those videos.
When you
Every
hear
time
the
I
crowd.
saw it, I just cracked up.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say that. When you hear the crowd's live reaction at Summer of Sonic 2012 and 2013 to those, yes, it's definitely one of the highlights.
For sure. Like, yeah, it's definitely interesting. I
was
still
not
laugh.
expecting that. Then again, I went in not knowing what to expect, so it doesn't count.
Ooh, okay. Here is my question. Next question is, how did you guys feel of showcasing your work at the Summer of Sonic event? I'm just very curious. Like, what were you feeling when you guys were showcasing it? Like, I just want to know.
Yeah, I feel like that's something y'all can. I wasn't even on the team when all that was going on, so I feel like y'all can answer that better than I can.
I can say I felt a bit jealous because I would have liked to have been part of that.
Understand.
It was before my time, though.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, I would have been around, but I think at that point, I think I would have been in like. I mean, you were mentioning 2012, 2013. I would have been like in like my senior year of high school, probably then. That would have been like eight. That would have been like
we
18,
should probably
19.
cut up and let the people who are actually there answer the question.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking. Don't mind me.
It's for me, it's a mixed bag, but mostly good. Just seeing people react to the projects, especially for Seaside Denied and Metropolis Mayhem. Overall, bit of nervousness at first, but then when the crowd really gets into it, I can't think of a better feeling, really.
Yeah, more or less the same here.
Yeah, I think for me with Summer Sonic, actually there was we had Seaside Denied, we had Sonic Shorts Volume 8. I was also there as part of the Sonic show, which was a whole other thing. That wasn't Sonic Paradox, it was another thing. But I was doing art for them at the time, and they had a big Summer Sonic presence back then too. I think they were doing the official live streams and stuff. So yeah, I had a pretty good experience with Summer Sonic stuff. Looking from the outside in, I haven't actually been there, but I guess a lot of my art was, so that was cool.
It's ironic that you mentioned that. I was literally mentioning one of the Sonic show coverages of Summer of Sonic not too long ago, because I remember one I watched as a kid a lot was the one where they debuted Knuckles briefs.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that reminds me, PiggyBank. When your pointless information moment short came up, a lot of people in the crowd were laughing at that one.
Yeah, that is by far my favorite short that you did.
Aw.
As well as I'll make
cool.
you eat those words. The crowd loved them.
That is a close second. That is a close
I also
second.
really I also really like bacon.
Oh yeah, the bacon strips one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that wasn't really a Sonic short, but it was a Sonic short.
Hey, you have so many good ones for real.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people telling me about the Sonic Lost World one I did recently. I was cleaning up my old YouTube channel, and everyone was telling me about the Sonic Lost World's parkour engine short, and like saying like you made my childhood or something. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, I mean, you joined in like 2010, 2011. So I would have been like 16, 17. So
Okay, all right, yeah.
yeah, and I would have so that technically would have qualified me in that category, more or less.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad those shorts left a nice impression on people. It's awesome. It's humbling.
Ooh, okay. Here's my next question for you guys. Are there any future Sonic conventions you guys would love to attend as special guests?
Anyone who
Revo.
would invite me and doesn't mind paying my travel, sure.
Revo,
I
wink,
don't even
wink.
know what they are.
If I could pay it forward, I would go to MagFest probably.
Ooh, yeah.
I wish I had the money to go to Magfest. That'd be dope. Yeah.
Oddly enough, that was something that was being thrown around as an idea several years ago.
Oh wow.
I mean, I think I'm on the wrong side of the planet to join most of those without bankrupting myself.
If Expo happens again next year, I feel like that'd be a good option.
Right.
which I'm going to that in like 2 days. I'm pretty excited about that. Just as an attending, I guessed or nothing, but
How about you, Piggy?
Boy, I'm not really a big convention person. MagFest always sounded interesting, though.
How about you, Skippy?
I've only ever been to one convention in my entire life, and that was a Doctor Who one. So I've never really, I don't really know anything about attending conventions.
because I know they have some cons in Australia, but it's not like it's not nearly as much as like over here necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really something that you hear too much about down here. If there was one and they wanted to run a Paradox panel, I wouldn't object to being part of it. But
yeah, I know. I would have loved to. I know I would have loved to have come out to FanFest. I would have loved to have come out to the thing that we did over at FanFest UK. Just to see like the reactions to Sonic Animated myself, but one. I was at the time that the premiere happened, I was dealing with health issues, let's say. So I would have been in the best condition. Two, I didn't have the money to fly over there, and especially not if I wanted to be able to make it out to Expo in 2 days. And three, my passport's expired, so I can't leave the country yet. So it's a combination of those three. Otherwise, I absolutely would have found a way to get out there.
my passport is currently missing in action, so I'll be getting a new one very shortly at this rate.
The conventions that we've actually been to or that I've been to, let's see, YomoCon. I wouldn't recommend going back there because unfortunately, after 10 years, they've had a really rough time. And then we got a couple of big ones in the Seattle area, but it's the Seattle area. I do not recommend visiting there anymore right now.
I mean, over here in Louisiana, like there's the only real convention that I remember in that was really worth anything would have been MechaCon in New Orleans, and that folded in 2021. And here in Baton Rouge, we had Louisianime, but that folded as a result of the pandemic. I got my disasters confused for a second there. But
Now
right,
we got
you
is
had a lot
what
of them.
GatorCon 2024 coming up. Yes, that's silly.
Yeah, now you're fine. You're fine. And now I think right now the only thing that we have in my city right now is like the Mid City Microcon, and it's in a library. So That's about it. Like you don't really got anything over. Like the closest thing probably is gonna be Expo for me, and that's in Dallas, right next door. So,
Yeah, just what, several hundred miles away.
yeah, I'm flying there, which that flight's not even gonna take 90 minutes. And there
Okay.
and it's at the Hyatt Regency at the airport, which is an absolute genius move. Shout out to Jovi and Phoenix for that.
Clever.
How about you, Bax?
I don't really have any particular conventions I would be willing to go to. I mean, as long as it's in the East Coast, I'd be willing to go.
I would say you're in like Maryland, aren't you?
Yeah.
Chris, do you have another question for them?
Let me see if we got another one in the chat. I also did see Polly B in the chat.
Hi.
What up, Ollie?
Yo, Polly.
Oh, hello.
Let's see.
My dog.
Alright. Okay, I don't see any other questions besides from the one that we just answered. Ugh. Can't think of any other ones.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Here's my next question for you guys. Which zone in any of the Sonic games is your favorite, and why? It can be from it can be from any. It can be like either like a zone or a location.
That's a very good question. I'll need a moment.
Yeah, I think we all will. There's so many to choose from.
Honestly, the first one to come to my mind is Final Egg from Sonic Adventure 1.
Do I need to say the line again?
Get a load of this!
Mine, probably Ice Cap Zone from Sonic 3. Just because I just absolutely love the music in that game, in that level.
Nice.
I think for now I'll pick Twinkle Park Zone from Adventure 1. I want to ride the coaster. I want to ride the bumper cars. I want to roll in the bowling pins.
That's a good one. Great music, too.
Yeah.
I guess I would do Rooftop Run from Unleash.
That's a good one.
Nice
The
choice.
music in that is beautiful.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah.
I don't think I have any particular one that stands out. I just like a lot of them.
Yeah, I'll probably take it back later, but I like Mad Space from Sonic Adventure 2. I forget to mention, I was pretty good at that game when we had it. It played it to death. But yeah, I like that one because, it's upside down and stuff. And the music.
That's
It sounds like
yeah.
it sounds like the theme song to the show called Martin. I don't know if anyone saw that. But that's off topic.
I think honorable mention probably to Chow Garden, even though that's debatable whether you could really call that a level. Just because I had a lot, like in SA2 specifically, just because I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun messing around in there, especially growing up and being mean to my Chow. It was a fun time.
Yosh.
Ooh, okay. Here is another question I have for you guys. Are there any funny bloopers, from the released content that you guys released? Like, is there like any funny bloopers when you were recording? I'm curious about that.
Oh,
Collabs
man.
said everything.
Unfortunately, I can't go into details on this one, but There are some good things in a project we are working on that maybe I'll add as a B reel or someday, but unfortunately I can't go into details.
Mm.
Understandable.
My
I
favorite.
mean, I can't think of any. I can just think of alternate takes of the same lines that were just. The original line itself was just stupid. It was so stupid that it was funny regardless.
Mm.
I always got a good laugh out of Robotnik Shorts, where Knuckles shows up as a bear. Say it to my bare knuckles, and he did. And Falero did a wonderful job and did some great outtakes, and they were so good. I actually put them on the end of the video.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I barely
I love
remember
outtake.
one that actually got put in a release project. Sonic Sayuki. There was a Tails blooper at the end that somebody tacked on because it was so good.
I haven't
Ah.
got any for Paradox myself, but I often have tons of bloopers whenever I'm recording anything, and sometimes I'll just end up going completely off script and just come up with a sketch right on the spot.
Yeah. I know.
Like I've one of the communities I work in, I've come up with a Dalek that loves ice cream, and they're a big fan of that.
Yeah.
There was
I know-
one for Sonic. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, I was gonna mention. You can go first, and I'll do mine.
Okay, Sonic F had this, I guess, holiday special reel where they had all these outtakes, and I remember losing it at these outtakes for the housekeeper, where she comes up into the attic and finds the Tails. Like, it's not a Tails doll, but it's Tails disguised as a doll. But they kept all of his outtakes in, and it was one of the funniest things I had seen that year from this channel.
Yeah, I think I haven't had too many bloopers necessarily with Paradox, just because I haven't really been in enough stuff. I know I've had some pretty. I know I had some fun with some of the alternate takes that I had. Some alternate takes I had as Commander Buzz for animated. I know some of my. I know other people that have like worked with me like can also attest to this. I have a really foul mouth, so sometimes some of my bloopers I can't necessarily repeat. But using my bloopers will like have either like I'll usually have a lot of fun with. I'll definitely have a lot of fun with like just kind of like playing off of that, or like trying to ad lib my way out of a bloop, or like just coming up with ad libs to use as alternate takes, or whatever. I know that like I know there's at least one instance in animated where I know there was like Wax. There was a line you wanted me to do that was like completely different from the way I wound up doing it, but it was specifically the line that was where I was saying as Commander Buzz, like, I'm sorry, sir. He's just so fast. Our processors can't keep up with him. I know there was like a different version that you sent me where like the idea where he was originally gonna have him just like being all like, he's just so fast or whatever. I forgot exactly how exactly it went, but then it was just like, I never had a chance to send that to you, and then just like the take I had to, just like, screw it, I'll just keep that one. That's what wound up making the final cut. So I mean, I guess that technically counts as one, but even though it wasn't really much of a blooper as much as it was just an alternate take, but yeah.
Ooh, looks like I see a question in the chat, Chris.
Let me
Good
see.
heavens!
Let's see. Ooh. What is any of your what is all of your sorry to everyone, what is your most favorite Sonic game of all time? And I can't speak
Have
to
we
that.
already done this one?
I was like, we technically already answered that question.
Yeah, they did. I think the other one is, what is your favorite animal to give to a chow? That's a pretty
Ooh.
question.
Oddly enough, for me, none of them. I don't like the effects that much. I just use capsules and fruit. I'm silly.
Mm.
Oh,
I
my
always want to give
favorite would.
mine. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll go. I always give them the rabbit. Always a rabbit. Every time.
Yeah, give them mad hops.
Yep.
I like to give them the half fish. They get that neat flame on top of their head sometimes.
Oh, nice.
I usually give them either same thing with Mac. I usually give usually either capsules or fruit or something like that. And then me being the a-hole kid I would also pat them, be like, "Don't worry, buddy," then throw them in the lake. I should never be a dad. But yeah, that's my answer. I was definitely more about that fruit life. Strawberries, such.
I'm right at this moment. I'm looking up a list of what animals were actually in the Chow Garden.
There were
Um,
two
the
of them.
the animal kind.
how about you, Piggy?
Oh, I said rabbit. I always give them a rabbit.
Oh, okay, rabbit.
Yeah.
How about you, KaDoYou?
Oh, well, out of Sonic Adventure 2, I'd give them the half fish because they get that neat flame on their head, but in Sonic Adventure 1, I like giving them the parrot. I think the parrot was in that game because they'd have the colors would change after they mature. They go through their first transformation, and they'd be really big, colorful feathers on them. That was neat.
Very.
I just gave them whatever animal I had on hand.
How about you, Wax?
I didn't really do the animals. I didn't really like the way they looked. I always just ended up going to the Game Boy Advance, get a mini game where you can buy this very expensive type of fruit that upgrades all the stats, and just did it that way and transferred it over.
Smart.
I wish I thought of that.
And unfortunately, we will have to end this live stream.
Encore.
Oh no! Oh no! Says Knuckles.
I got you. I got you. Oh no. Anyway, there I did it.
Oh no!
That's hilarious.
That caught me off guard.
And then Robotnik goes, "Yosh."
It was basically a pleasure to have you guys. You are the very first content creator group to do a Q&A here on my YouTube channel, so you guys have that honor.
Personally, it's an honor to be invited.
Yes, you guys do such amazing content. I grew up on your content, and the fact that this is literally a dream come true, that I'm literally doing this Q&A with you guys, it's just surreal. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Chris here, who is streaming this Q&A and also my co-host for this panel.
Always happy to help.
And so stay tuned, everyone. I will be having a special birthday bash live stream on November 20. All the details will be coming soon on that. And I'm still ironing out the details for the Lucky Charm podcast as well. And I think we're at least 90% confirmation for the next Sonic lore with Radar, which is episode 3. So stay tuned for those.
Shout out Radar.
Shout out indeed.
Yeah, so I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to this Q&A. And hopefully there will be another one coming soon for another Q&A. So may y'all have a wonderful night. Bye everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
No
See
way!
y'all.
I can't believe